addition to the hotel inquiry yesterday said the Victorian government had failed. Your response to that?
Well, I'm going to await the report of the inquiry. Submissions were led by counsel assisting yesterday. It's an important part of the process, but an equally important, arguably more important part of the process is to wait until early November when Judge Coate will deliver her report. That'll have findings, recommendations, what's in that report, and what she calls for or believes to be appropriate is entirely a matter for her.
Expect ministers to take responsibility for what goes on in their departments?
Yes.
What about yourself? Are you not prepared to resign?
I indicated the other day I don't run from challenges, I don't run from problems. I'm not someone who quits to avoid doing the hard work that needs to be done.
So why
I've got a job, well, if you've asked me I would have thought rather serious question, and if I might be allowed to answer the question, I'll then answer your next one. I don't run from problems. I've got a big job to do and I'm dedicated to getting it done. And that's not just getting these numbers down, but it's also delivering the most significant package of economic reform, investment and recovery that this state has ever seen. I can barely describe to you how committed I am to that task. And that, I think, is an expansive way of saying to you, no.
Okay, so why is it appropriate that Ms McCarcos resigns, but it's not appropriate for you to resign, and in your view, that would be you running away from challenges? But that's
well, you would need to ask her. She resigned. She issued she asked. You've asked me a question. What I'm indicating to you is she resigned. She made a judgment she could not sit in the cabinet. Whenever a minister makes that judgment, then you've only got one course of. She issued a statement. That statement makes it very clear that she could no longer sit in the cabinet. Any minister that comes to that conclusion has no choice but to resign. That's the appropriate thing to do. That's exactly what I have said. Beyond that, if you want any more specificity about her reasons, then you would need to speak to her. I'm not in a position to elaborate on that. I appeared at the inquiry. I've not made a supplementary submission to the inquiry. If you want to speak to her about those matters, then I'd invite you to do that.
Are you implying that Ms McCarcos is someone who runs from challenges?
No, not at all. I was asked a question, I've answered the question, and I've answered it, Rachel, I think, to be fair, in similar terms that I've answered it before, which I believe predates the decision of the Minister.